Next time someone asks me for an apology, I'm gonna be like, I'm evolved, okay? I'm evolved. Leave me alone, bitch.
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it. Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it, okay? First and foremost, I have to say thank you so much to everyone who has been liking, commenting, subscribing. You have no idea. I appreciate it so much. You guys have been engaging with me, and I couldn't ask for more. I think the last time I checked, we were at like 320 subscribers, and we're growing and creating a community. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I really do. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. So we have to get into this whole Marshall situation. I hate to say it, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Don't worry. I'm not gonna say it. So first and foremost, I want to preface this video by saying these are my thoughts. These are my feelings, my opinions, right? I do not speak for or represent all Black women. I don't represent the collective of Black women, right? These are my thoughts and my opinions, and I don't expect everyone to feel the same way about this situation. I'm not making this video to convince you to feel any particular way about this situation. This is just how I feel. This is just how I see it. In regards to Marshall's tweets, yes, I'm well aware that these tweets were made when he was between the ages of 15 and 18. I would hope that we've all grown in some way from when we was 15 to 18 years old, because I was child, yes, okay? Yeah, I totally understand that. My sentiments about Marshall are less about his tweets that he made when he was between the ages of 15 and 18 and are more about how he has responded to those tweets being exposed. My sentiments are more about what I've witnessed while he was on Love is Blind. If you've seen my previous reviews, you know that I have said that Marshall is not the good guy, the class act that he presents himself to be. Now, is Marshall the worst guy in the world? Of course not. There are people way worse than Marshall. I don't think that Marshall is like a dangerous person or a evil person. I don't think that at all. But is Marshall this angelic person that a lot of people make him out to be? I don't think so either. And in addition to Marshall's tweets, we're also going to speak about not being fooled by gestures of kindness. Some people in this world are really kind, while some people are showing kindness because they want something in return. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So let's start off with Marshall's tweets. I'm sure by now everyone has seen them. Everyone has formed their own opinions on his tweets. I'm going to post his tweets up so that you can see them for yourself, and I'm going to just read through a couple of them. Overall, Marshall's old tweets pretty much expressed his negative sentiments and stereotypes about Black women, while also expressing his preference for Latino women. In regards to Black women, he tweeted things that fed into the stereotypes of Black women being single, Black women, we just sit in circles and bash men all day, Black women, what else? Black girls could care less about your feelings, just really negative things that his 15-year-old self has observed. In regards to Latino women, he says he wants a purebred Latina. Super dehumanizing, right? He said he wants a Latino woman so that when he's having sex with her, she can speak to him in Spanish. He says Latino women know how to treat their dude. And that one made me laugh because we know Jackie treated him like shit. Now, is Jackie a representation of all Latino women? Of course not. Jackie is not a representation of all Latino women. But it's just funny how that came full circle, that is something that he tweeted at the age of 15. And then us, the viewer, the entire world got to see him be treated poorly by someone who he preferred. And let me say this about preferences and interracial relationships. I think that there are many interracial relationships that are beautiful and pure and true and thriving. But I think that you really need to make sure that if you are dating interracially, you are asking the right questions to find out about that person's dating history, to find out about that person's preference, right? You need to ask questions. Am I the first person that you've dated outside of your race? Have you only dated people outside of your race, right? And if so, why? Because you want to make sure that you're not fulfilling some type of fantasy for this person. You're not fulfilling some type of fetish for this person. You need to make sure that this person isn't self-hating. you have to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into in all relationships, even if you're in a relationship with someone from the same race, same culture, right? But when you're dating someone from a different race, there's another layer that you're going to have to go through, right? There's more questions that you're going to have to ask to make sure that y'all are on the same page. If you ask this person what they like about you or what they like about people from your culture, if their answer begins with,
because people in my culture or people in my race are this, that, and the third,
red flag, run, okay? If their answer doesn't begin with what they like about you and it begins with what they dislike about people like themselves, red flag, run, baby. Run for the hills, okay? I'm telling you. But don't take it as a compliment if you hear someone bashing their own race to try to uplift you. Because I'm telling you, usually people who do that, there's something going on in here. There's something going on in here that's not quite right. And once they get whatever they need from you, once they get whatever they needed from you, whether it be just the feeling they get from being able to claim you as theirs, whether it be the social elevation that they feel being with you can bring them, whatever it is, once they get what they needed from you, from that relationship, they will treat you the same way that they treated the same people that they spoke ill about. Remember that. So you need to make sure that you do your due diligence and you ask the right questions to make sure that this relationship that you're entering into is real and that they are with you because of who you are, not because of what you represent to them. And that's why I said in my reunion review, Marshall was not as hurt as he wanted us to believe. I didn't feel that from him. I didn't get heartbroken from him. I didn't get, oh my God, I love Jackie so much, because it was never about Jackie. And that's why he was willing to accept such disgusting and horrible treatment from Jackie, because it was never about her. It was about what she represented to him. And that's why he was willing to overlook this woman treating him poorly, making jokes about his sexuality, not appreciating his acts of kindness, because she is something that he's always wanted since he was 15 years old. Oop. Even after he made her those delicious preference pancakes, she still didn't appreciate it. She still treated him like trash, and he still wanted to make it to the altar with her. Why is that? But it was all about what he could gain out of it, how it would make him feel. And making it to the altar with Jackie would have made Marshall felt like he accomplished something. I still wholeheartedly believe that he would have told her no. So by getting Jackie to the altar, he already won. All he had left to do at that moment was to give his Zenep speech, leave her standing at the altar, and walk away as the golden boy. That is the moment that he really wanted. And that's why I believe that it was never about Jackie. So like I said in the beginning of my video, my sentiments about Marshall are less about the tweets that he made between the ages of 15 and 18, but more about the behavior that I witnessed from him while on the show, as well as how he responded to these tweets being exposed. Because y'all know there was something about Marshall that didn't sit right with me, okay? And I've seen some of y'all in my comments, y'all felt the same way as well. So in Marshall's first apology, which to me was not an apology, let me say this also. When people are exposed for their old tweets, which are full of colorism, misogyny, misogynoir, me personally, I don't need an apology because I don't believe it. And I feel like these apologies are pure PR. I don't believe them, right? Some people feel like they need an apology, they're owed an apology. I'm like halfway, because I think that they should still apologize, but I'm not like hanging on a cliff waiting for their apology, because I don't really believe it. I think that it's just to save face. I think that it's to save whatever brand deals they had going on, clean up their image, but I don't believe these apologies. And the way that Marshall did these apologies, I really don't believe them. And I really don't believe that his sentiments have changed that much. Let's get into it. So in Marshall's first apology, where he didn't really apologize, he says, "This pretty much happens to everyone in the public eye, and I knew it would happen to me." It happened to his cousin, who was on another show, I think The Bachelor, who was also exposed for some similar tweets. So it's like, what's going on in that family? Y'all have Thanksgiving dinner and just talk shit about black women at the table? Like, is that what y'all do? Like, what's going on in the family? What's going on? So Marshall says when he made these tweets, he was a sad teenager and he purposely left the tweets up so that we can see how much he's grown. I call BS on that. I don't think he left those tweets up on purpose at all. I think he forgot. And then when he was exposed, he tried to spin it and say, oh,
I left these up so you can see what an awesome person I am and how much I've grown and how much I've changed.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think he got caught slipping and he just had to spin it because he privated his whole Twitter account. So stand in your shit, stand on it. But yeah, he said that he left the tweets up because he wanted us to see his growth and that he's evolved. Not evolving. He has evolved, okay? He is in his final form. He is good to go. Okay, he's done all the work that needs to be done and he's good to go. Listen, that response seemed very dismissive to me. It's like, look, bitch, I'm evolved. Next time someone asks me for an apology, I'm gonna be like, I'm evolved, okay? I'm evolved. Leave me alone, bitch. There was no apology to Black women. There was no apology to the women that you spoke poorly about. It's giving, I said what I said, but I'm not like that anymore, so just shut up about it. Like, that's what I got from that apology. I would bet the money that Netflix paid for Jackie's ring, that if those tweets weren't about Black women and they were about a different group or a different community, that apology would be a real apology, okay? Marshall would be telling us that he's in therapy, trying to change his ways. Marshall would be meeting with the leaders of said community, said group. He would be learning more about that community. He would be spending time with the people within that community. He would be apologizing profusely. He would be educating himself about that community or about that culture or about that race of people. It would be totally different. He would make sure that we, the public, know that this is something that he's still working on because it's that important to him. He wouldn't come and say he's evolved if these tweets were about anyone but Black women. I would bet the cost of Jackie's ring. You hear me? So with that apology, people weren't 100% sold on that. So he came out with a video apology. And this one to me was even worse. This one to me was even worse. So in this video, he says, allow me the space to take accountability for those tweets. 2023 Marshall is ashamed of the less developed version of me. Here he is creating separation. I think that it is very possible to acknowledge that you were a lot younger when you made certain decisions without trying to make it seem like those decisions or those actions or those statements were made and done by a completely different person. It was still you, right? It was a younger you, but it was still you. As opposed to saying, I am sorry for the tweets that I made when I was younger. That was a different time for me. I no longer feel that way, but I'm deeply sorry for those tweets that I made and for all of the people that I hurt. That's different from saying 2023 Marshall, not even me. He's speaking in third person. 2023 Marshall is ashamed of the tweets made by the less developed me. What is that? If I was apologizing to you and I said,
2023 Roxy is sorry for the less developed version of me.
Girl, are you sorry or not? Okay? Keep it simple. Just apologize, okay? Like a normal person. I don't need the poems and the haikus. Just say, I am sorry. And y'all, don't let no one apologize to you in third person either, okay? Okay. Then it gets even worse. He says, let me direct a public apology to some of the phenomenal Black women in my life. Then he says, let this be an apology to all the Black women around the globe. What? And then he plays a montage of different Black women in his life. His mother, his sister, friend, cousin, right? But that is his apology to all the Black women around the globe. Okay, let's put it this way. Let's say when I was 15, I made a tweet and it said, mothers are narcissistic. Mothers don't know how to treat their children. I don't know. Fathers are better than mothers. All mothers do is sit around and talk shit about fathers. And then to apologize for that, I make a post about my mother.
Who I love dearly. She's the best.
I make a post apologizing to my mother, and that should suffice as an apology to all y'all other mothers. What? Do y'all get what I'm saying? He didn't apologize to the collective of Black women. He only apologized to the Black women that he knew personally. And the fact that it's like pulling teeth to get Marshall to apologize for this, that lends more to the notion that he still feels the same way, or that he still holds some type of negative sentiment towards Black women as a collective, right? Because if he didn't, I don't think that it would have been this hard for him to apologize. And that's why, to me, his reaction to the tweets being exposed hold even more weight to the tweets themselves. Because you can say, oh, he was 15, he was 18, right? He's older now. And the fact that he still can't come through with that apology, his actions today are holding more weight. To me, okay? In addition to this apology, Marshall finally posts what we can assume is his girlfriend, okay? Now, she's a beautiful girl. She's a doctor. I'm not 100% sure if she's Black. I didn't go like scrolling through her page looking for her ancestry or anything like that. But from what I see, I think that she's a Black woman. And if she is, this post is also very disingenuous to me. Marshall is very performative. Very performative. He does things out of convenience. To give you some background on this situation with his girlfriend, here's a clip from an interview that Marshall did with Nick Viall. This was posted 7 days ago. And in this clip of the interview, he's discussing him needing to break things off with his girlfriend because of his newfound fame and this new life that he has. Take a look.
With all of this new incoming life or whatever this is, I don't know how to navigate it as me. And I need to take some time to figure myself out because I can't pour into myself right now. So how am I possibly going to pour into a relationship?
Does she know that?
Yeah,
So you're not seeing her? Because that sounds like some fuckboy shit.
No. We've
It's like we're seeing each other, but I need to work on myself.
Come on, Nick. Don't label me, bro.
I'm not trying to.
I'm actually very communicative.
But you get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know how to be a public figure, if that's the word for it. I don't know how to be that.
Even Nick said, that sounds like some F-boy shit. And it really does. It really does. Because if you really love someone, and you come into some type of newfound fame, I would think your initial response would be you two figuring out how to navigate that together. Your initial response wouldn't be to break up with that person, unless you want to see what else is out there. You have more access, you have more money, you have more opportunities. So you want to navigate this new life with no strings attached. You want to navigate this new life freely. And that's fine, but don't make it seem like it's coming from a place of,
oh, I'm just a little boy and I don't know how to do this and I'm just learning how to navigate.
No, be real, Marshall. You want to be in the streets. You trying to be outside, okay? And since that was posted 7 days ago, I find it funny that now that he's in hot water with Black women, now is when he decides to finally post his girlfriend.
Hey, look, I got a Black one.
That's what it's giving to me. It just seems really convenient, or you would have posted her before. If I was her, I'd be like, no, keep that same energy. Keep pushing me away. Keep not posting me. Keep me on the back burner like you've been doing. Don't try to upload a pic of me now because you're in trouble. No, don't do it. You're not slick, Marshall, okay? Now, let's get into this savior, nice guy complex that Marshall has. We've seen it in the episodes of Love is Blind, and Marshall actually speaks on it in another part of his interview with Nick.
Terrible, but it was the potential. I saw everything inside of her. I saw myself in Jackie. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I felt like I had worked through that she hadn't quite gotten to that point, that I could be the catalyst.
Yeah.
To help her get to that point. Very naive. Lesson learned.
I think that Marshall is very insecure. I said this in my past reviews. I felt like Marshall has deep insecurities, and that's why he seeks out people who he feels he can help, who he feels he is better than, who he feels that he is above, right? Projects that he can work on to make himself feel elevated, to make himself feel like he is better than this person, because that feeds his ego, that feeds his low self-esteem.
Why the fuck are you still with me if I didn't make you feel like nothing?
Because I see you as a project and I saw potential.
I'm a project?
I saw you as a project. I have that experience, so I saw you.
What do you think, you're a fucking puppeteer?
So him seeing potential in you, him feeling like he can fix you, like he can save you. It's not even really about you or for you. It's for him. It feeds his ego. Someone like that, they're not helping you solely out of the goodness of their heart. And let me say this. Like I said before in the beginning of my video, I don't think that he's an evil, horrible person, but I do think that he is performative. I do think that the good guy, the nice guy, gestures that he does, I feel like it's all an act because he is expecting something in return.
I'm always doing these things. What do you do for me? Make me feel like something, Jackie.
A good person, they're not doing things because they want something in return. They're doing it out of love. They're doing it out of care, out of pure generosity. I don't get that from Marshall. It gives performative, okay? I picked up on that a while ago with Marshall. Y'all saw my tweet from like 2 weeks ago, okay? Where I said, does Marshall have us fooled? Is he one of those fake nice guys? I posted that because something was going off like, So I'm not just jumping on a bandwagon. I've been peeped, Marshall, okay? Okay, I be using my noggin. For example, like the scene with Jackie and the coat. Remember, it was Chelsea's birthday and Jackie and Marshall showed up separately, right? Jackie comes and immediately Marshall's like, oh, put on my coat. Yeah, it could have been chilly in there. I rewatched the footage. There were some women in there who were wearing jackets. Someone was wearing spaghetti straps, right? So it could be both. It could have been that it was chilly in there. But to me, Jackie putting on Marshall's coat was more for Marshall to mark his territory than it was Marshall caring about Jackie being cold. Listen, they hadn't seen each other in days before that, right? They hadn't seen each other for days before that. But because Josh was at that dinner, Marshall wanted to give the impression like,
this is still mine. This is still my property. Put on my coat.
It wasn't really that he cared that she was cold. He wanted to mark his territory. Disingenuous, self-serving, ego-driven, gross. Like, gross. Okay, can I go on? I can go on, right? Use your noggin. Marshall is the type who will save you, he will fix you, and he will never let you forget it. He will never let you forget it because it wasn't for you. It was for him. And you will forever owe him. Listen, I think we have all experienced a Marshall or a Marshalla, whatever, whether it be in a intimate romantic relationship or a friendship. We have all experienced someone who has done something for us and who's thrown it in our face, or who has made us feel that we owe them forever in any way possible. This part isn't even about Marshall anymore. I'm speaking in our day-to-day lives. I'm talking to you, okay? We just chatting, okay? Marshall has left the building, okay? But we've encountered people who've done things for us and we thought they were doing it because they really loved us and they really cared about us, until one day we probably said no. And they reminded us like, you forgot what I've done for you? You forgot that I did this for you, that I did that for you, and you're gonna say no to me? And it's not until they say that you realize, oh, you weren't doing these things for me, you were doing these things for you, so that I would feel indebted to you. Oh, okay. And that's a hard realization when you realize they had an agenda. And to bring it back to Marshall, Marshall isn't even sure of himself. So to think that he can save you, to think that he can save someone else is I find that quite arrogant, right? But of course he would think he can save you because he's evolved. But you can't fix anyone, Marshall. Not even Marshall, none of us. We can't fix anyone else. We're still a work in progress. Can we inspire people? Can we motivate people? Can we encourage people? Yes. But you cannot go into a relationship or a situation thinking that you are there to save someone. It comes off as if you have a God complex, a superiority complex, a savior complex. Listen, I know that Marshall was a breath of fresh air on the screen. Here we have a man, a black man, who is in touch with his feelings and his emotions. He's kind, he's sweet, he's soft, he's thoughtful, right? So I think because we saw that in Marshall, we applied the halo effect to him as if this guy is perfect. Marshall got a pass because he was paired up with someone as horrible as Jackie. So he was able to easily skate under the radar because Jackie was so toxic. Her toxicity was so out there, like I said in my previous reviews. But had Marshall been hooked up with, let's say, Tiffany or Bliss, no one's perfect, right? But Tiffany and Bliss are very different than Jackie, right? If Marshall was hooked up with Tiffany or Bliss, we would have been able to recognize Marshall's flaws a bit more easily than we were. Well, not we, because I saw them. I'm talking about y'all. Not y'all. I'm talking some of y'all. But like I said, you would have been able to pick up on his toxic traits a bit more easily. So like I said before, Marshall is not the worst guy in the world, but I hope that we can all take a small lesson from Marshall and apply it to our everyday lives, okay? I want us to be able to take a deeper look and to know that just because someone says a few nice things or displays behavior that you haven't seen before or comes off as perfect, right? That we still need to keep our guard up a bit and know that not everyone who displays acts of kindness always has the best intentions. Yes, some people do. That's for you to find out. So you have to always make sure that you're fully aware, that you're not ignoring red flags, and that you're what? Using your noggin. Listen, let me know what you guys think about this video, about Marshall's tweets, about his behavior on the show, about his apologies. We can talk about it below. Everyone, please make sure to remain respectful in your comments. If this video made you laugh, think, smile, anything, please don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit share, and we'll chat more below. Bye.
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.